everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and today I want to talk Peloton. So I have been working out with the digital Peloton app for quite a few months now, and my bike is supposed to come later this month, so I'm really excited to dive into actually doing the cycling classes and the bike boot camp classes, and I'm just really excited. I ended up setting up this other side of my room. I'll show you guys. I had to actually turn a box around, but I actually set up this other side of my room because the Peloton is actually going to go in here for now. I just don't feel comfortable putting it out where the kids have access to it. Olivia comes in here and does art, like clearly kid has taken over part of this room, but it will keep Stella, the toddler, away from cords, away from the bike. I don't want there to be any sort of safety concern or issue. I want to make sure that she's just away from it. She doesn't come in this room at all, so it'll be blocked off, and then eventually we will have a dedicated space for workout stuff, but for now it's going in here. So I ended up moving some things around in my room. You can see like bags on the floor because my kid plays with them and decorates them. As you can see, I'm connected to the wall. I've got my workout stuff on the shelf. That shelf actually was over here, and there was a desk over here, just like a little IKEA desk. We moved that desk into Olivia's room to give her like more independence. And then I got a bike mat here, and the bike is gonna go right here. And I don't know if I'm gonna face the window or face away from the window. I just don't know how the lighting's gonna be or anything, but I'm really happy with having my little workout section set up there. So that mini impromptu tour is actually really not what this video is about. I wanted to come up with some sort of probably weekly or about weekly type of video. I have done like weekly series videos in the past, and I've fallen off of the wagon on those because the interest just drops. I've been working out since mid-December, like hardcore. I use the Apple Fitness app, and then I use the Peloton app. Now I use both. I just really I'm sucked into this. It's definitely something I feel like I'm going to stick with long term, and it's something I'm really passionate about right now. So I thought I could make this maybe a weekly series, and I don't know what I'm going to call it. I was thinking Pelo Goss or Pelo Chat. I don't want to step on people's fingers, but I definitely want the Peloton name to be part of it because that part is what struck a chord with me and made me really get involved in this. So I definitely want to discuss my own personal workout journey as part of this series, but I also want to discuss Peloton gossip, Peloton rumors, Peloton news, actual events happening. I want to talk to specific classes, specific instructors, but I don't want to go into the instructors' lives because that's just not my interest, honestly. Like, I love them as coaches, but I am not following them on Instagram. I'm not stalking them on all the social medias and learning about their lives that much. Just what I will learn in the classes with them, like what they want to share in the actual classes. And some of them share a lot in their classes. They really reveal huge parts of their lives in the classes. I want to come at this as a Peloton / fitness related thing, but also discuss the Peloton news and stuff. It's just something that like I'm obsessed with. I am in some Peloton Facebook groups. I'm learning about the Peloton, basically like the Peloton cult. It's a workout cult, and I just love it. I'm totally in it, and I can't get enough. So I want to make that something on this channel. And if you're not into fitness, if you're not into working out, if you think Peloton's crazy and Peloton's really pretentious and all that stuff, I totally get it. I was totally there at some point too. There was a time, Uncle David is a cyclist. He actually mountain bikes and has multiple bicycles for various things, and he's serious about this. This is Johnny's brother, by the way. It's just Uncle David because that's what Olivia calls him. He's actually Olivia's uncle. So Uncle David came to visit us, and I think this was over Christmas time 2 years ago. I can't remember if it was 2 Christmases ago. I think it was. So Stella was like a newborn. We were taking a walk, and there was a Peloton delivery van on the road, and I was like, wow, I would never pay so much money for something. I think it's crazy. And he's like, wait, you know, they're really good. They're the best of the best. I've heard great things about it. He doesn't have one, but he said like, it's definitely like the best of the best if you want a stationary bike, and he has friends that have them and love them, and he said stuff about the interface and stuff, and I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not as like hokey and corny as I think, but I was still thinking like, yeah, it's expensive and pretentious, and like I've seen the Peloton commercials, they seem kind of pretentious, and I was like, there's no way I'll ever do XYZ. And then I get into the fitness, get into trying the app, and then just fall in love. And I'm like, wow, I really ate my words here. Like, I really thought it was crazy. And I can't wait for my Peloton van to be out front delivering my Peloton. So I'm totally in it. And I understand if these videos are a big turnoff for some people, just skip over them. They will be clearly labeled. And over the years, I've definitely been multi-passionate, and things have come and gone. And this may be one of those things where I talk about it right now because I'm really excited about it, and then I drop it off because it's just not something that I want to talk about or discuss. But it's such a big part of my life right now. If you're working out like an hour a day, it's something you want to talk about because it's a big part of your time, especially if you're a mom. And like in my case, I work out either I have to wake up before my kids get up so that I can work out, or I take time in my nap time, which is a short fleeting time during the day, to do the workout. I have a toddler at home, so I don't get the luxury of just being able to fit in workouts throughout the day. I have to work it around my kid's sleep schedule. She can't be right there when I'm lifting weights and stuff and doing like big movements because I could hurt her, and also she probably just won't let me. Like, I tried to do just yoga a few times with her in the room, and she's like crawling under me if I'm doing a downward dog, and like sitting on my lap the second I'm sitting down, and climbing on my belly if I'm like doing any sort of laying down pose. So it just doesn't work. It has to be time, and it's time I'm taking away from other things like cleaning. We have a cleaning lady now. We ended up hiring a cleaning crew to come in every 2 weeks because I'm dropping the ball on stuff. I just don't have all the time. My time is very fleeting. And when I'm dedicating such a big chunk of my time to working out and staying healthy, it means other things fall by the wayside. So I'm not doing as much scrapbooking because I'm doing more working out and things like that. So it's something I want to talk about because, first of all, like, it's something I'm doing alone, but there's such a big Peloton community that likes to talk about it, likes to discuss it. I feel like there will be others that want to listen to my stuff, can leave me comments and talk more about it with me. So it's on my mind a lot, and I have lots of things I want to say about it, and I feel like it's an uplifting thing. I had done Tea Tuesday for a while, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm a judgmental bee. Like, I can judge the heck out of people, but I also feel bad putting out that negative energy a lot. So I want this to be more of an uplifting thing. We can discuss some of the Peloton hot topics in these videos, but I really just want it to be an uplifting, motivational, inspiring type of place because I'm coming from a background of being a complete couch potato to being somebody who works out probably easily 30 minutes, sometimes more like an hour every day. So it's just something I'm really dedicated towards, and I really like it. I really like the way my body has felt. My body's been changing with this. I just plain old love it. So I want to talk about it, and I just have a lot of things to say. So I'm filming this during the homecoming. So all the intro stuff is out of the way. I definitely want to have some sort of a structure to the video, like talk about Peloton news, maybe talk about rumors and happenings, talk about my thoughts about things, and also talk about specific workouts I've done recently that I like, talk about my progress in my own personal fitness journey realm. So that's just going to be kind of how I'm going to go with it. I'm going to try to structure it a little bit, maybe ask questions. We can have a discussion. I want it to be like more like a podcast almost, but in video form. I'm not a podcaster. I sit down in front of the camera and chat. So it's just going to be Pelo Chat, basically. So I don't want to step on people's toes. I have to make sure nobody else is using that as their like talk name thing. But anyway, I do want to discuss Homecoming 2021. This is an event in the past that's been in person in New York. So they have like a big celebration, talk about all the new Peloton things. They have special homecoming classes for those days, a special badge, and it's a big, basically a big weekend party conference thing of all things Peloton. Well, it was canceled last year because of the pandemic, and this year they made it virtual. So I went to the little keynote thingamabob. It's just like a pre-recorded video from the CEO talking about some new things. And that's really what I want to discuss in this video, is the new stuff coming. So first up, they are changing the scenic rides, and I've seen the scenic rides. I've seen people complain that, first of all, there aren't that many of them, and second of all, they're kind of slow, like going through, and also the music is less desirable. Let's just say that. People have complained about the music. And so I was interested in scenic rides, but it's not dynamic or fluid. If you go faster, it doesn't go faster. Like, the video is just a very slow, even keel video, and people have wanted it to be improved because there are other apps and other cycling programs that have better scenic things. So they are actually improving the scenic thing. Now there's 3 different types. There's going to be a new and improved version of what they already have, a more dynamic version, and then a scenic coached version. So it's a coach taking you through the scenic route. So I don't know how it's going to be. I was actually just listening to it with my earbuds as I was giving Stella breakfast. So I didn't actually get to see my phone. My phone was just like sitting next to me down. So I didn't get to see what it was going to look like, but this totally interests me. I always thought I would do the scenic rides like on days where I didn't want to really listen to somebody talk. I would do those and just listen to whatever music playlist I have. I actually use Amazon Prime Music. It's just a free thing with Amazon Prime. I don't pay for their version of like get any song you want, their unlimited version. I just use whatever songs they have in the free library because that's part of my Prime membership, but that's what I use. So I will just put a playlist on. They have the Hamilton soundtrack on there, which I've been listening to a ton. So I think I would do that on like easy days where I just want to get some movement, and I can do that to whatever music I want and just look at the pretty background and things. So I plan on trying all 3 versions and talking about that once my bike gets here. I've got lots of plans for videos once my bike actually gets here. It'll probably be separate topics from these Pelo chat videos. It'll be more like review style videos, whereas this is just discussion style opinion video. But I'm interested in the coaching version too. Like they'll take you to different places. I heard there's one in Seattle right now that's one of the first ones that popped up. Hopefully that'll improve it for a lot of people that have complained that the scenic rides aren't so great. And I've seen clips of like the scenic rides. I wasn't super impressed with what I saw, but I really think this is leveling up now. So it's going to be more in line with some of the other scenic routes in various apps and things. So I'm really, really excited to try those. I definitely want to try the cycling classes too. The scenic stuff definitely feels more mindless, that you can do when you just want to get some movement, but you don't necessarily want to push super hard and you don't necessarily really want to be coached. You could do these scenic rides. I feel like that's like the easier version. And then the biggest news that came out of the conference, I feel like, is the pause button. So if you are on the digital app, you are not on the leaderboard, you don't get your same metrics, and you don't get to be on the leaderboard, which is a big deal in the Peloton world for some people. Is there's a leaderboard and everybody's output is compared to everybody who has ever taken the class or everybody who's in the class with you at that current moment, or you can just filter it out to just be everybody in your specific demographic. Like women in their 30s would be my demographic, so I would be compared to everybody who's ever taken the class in their 30s who's on the leaderboard. So you're compared and you watch yourself climb up the leaderboard, and it's really, really competitive, and it's a big, huge motivator for a lot of people. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to get the actual Peloton bike versus an off-brand, like any other bike, basically non-Peloton bike that you're going to use. You can still use the digital app, but you don't get this leaderboard competitive piece of the puzzle. And I really just want that. I think that's something that will really motivate me. I forgot one of the best ways of filtering is you filter just yourself. So you can take the same ride again. And I plan on doing this as like a monthly test for me, just picking up whatever ride I start out as, and then a month later, take the same thing and see how I improve. Because I'm pretty sure I will see some vast improvements going from not cycling to cycling, and then, you know, a few months in. So I plan on measuring it against myself on a regular basis so I can see how I improve. And that part is the most motivating part for me, not necessarily like comparing myself to everybody who's ever done it, because I'm so low on the totem pole that it will be embarrassing how low I am. But I really want to compare against myself and see the difference just in my own progress. I think that's going to be a huge motivator for me, is to just compete against myself, try to be the best version, the best athlete of my own self that I can be, and not really worry about, you know, comparing myself against really super fit athletic people. Okay, so back to my point about the pause button. I got off on a tangent about the leaderboard in general, but there is no pause button for the actual Peloton bikes. You can pause if you're on the digital app because you're not on the leaderboard. You're not being compared to everybody else. So you can pause it and they don't care. But if you are on the actual Peloton machines, there is no pause button. So if you have to pee, you're SOL. You go run to the bathroom and come back. You lose all that exercise time during the class. So you can't pause it. You can't pause it for a phone call. You can't pause it for an emergency. And I know people work out with their kids at home and they have to pause it because their kids need something or their kids get into something. So I definitely think the pause button is super valuable, but it is going to mess up that leaderboard, and I don't know how they're going to rectify this. In the keynote address, I don't know exactly what they're calling this. When the CEO was talking, the keynote or whatever, he said it's coming out later on. They're still working out the details of how they're going to keep it equitable and keep it fair. Because if you're taking a 45-minute class and you go all the way through not pausing it, you're going to have a different output than somebody who pauses it halfway through and then picks it back up after they've cooled off for a little bit. So they have an advantage taking that break and pausing the class, and they could have a better output because of that, and that would put them higher up on the leaderboard, and that doesn't seem fair. So my thoughts on the pause button before it was even introduced right now, my thought was, if you pause the class, you don't get to place on the leaderboard. That's what I think should happen, and people are gonna not be happy about that, and I would be too if I've put 30 minutes into a 45-minute class and I have to pause it for some reason and I lose all that chance to compete in the leaderboard. I would be disappointed about that too, but you definitely have to get some sort of, I don't want to say punishment, but the word's not coming to me. You definitely need some sort of markdown or penalty, there's the word, penalty, for taking the pause, because it's not fair. If you're competing with people who are taking it straight through, that's a totally different vibe than somebody who's pausing every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes and catching their breath. So I don't know how they're going to make it equitable. I have ideas. I've heard other people's ideas. I would love to know. This is the question of the day for you guys. What do you think would be fair? Because they say the pause button is definitely coming. So how are they going to make it fair on the leaderboard? I would love to know your thoughts on it. I definitely think if you pause, you just get taken off the leaderboard, or you get some sort of output penalty. Then again, I don't want my output to be jacked up. If I pause, I don't want to lose so many points when I technically, paused, ran to the bathroom, or paused, did something with my kid, thinking like when she's older and I'm working out. If I have to pause to do something with my kid, I don't want to be messing up my output numbers for that pause. So I don't know how they're going to make it work. I'm really interested to know what they end up doing. And right now it's just, we know there's a pause button, but we don't know their plan for it. We don't know how it's going to affect the leaderboard. I think I should have my same metrics, my same output numbers, but I just don't get to place in the leaderboard. So I think that would be a fair way to do it. It sucks because I see why people want a pause button. As a mom, I totally see that. And I also was thinking, like, unless I'm waking up early in the morning, there's always a possibility that I could have to pause it. If I'm doing something in the middle of the day, I could have to pause it for some reason. If my kid wakes up early from a nap and is hysterical and I have to go get her, I have to go get her. I'm a mom, I have to. So I can see why you need a pause button and why it's important, but I also see how it's going to affect the leaderboard in a negative way. And I know there are some people who kind of like cheat on the leaderboard and have calibrated their bikes wrong so they get higher outputs. To me, it's just, I feel like it's not that deep, bro. I don't understand like wanting to cheat the system and game the system to be up at the top of the leaderboard. I want to do it authentically, or I don't want to do it at all. That's kind of like my personality. Like I could see pausing the class for some reason. Maybe I do need to catch my breath, honestly. Like as a beginner, I can see like needing to take a break from the class, filling up my water again or some reason, but then going back to it and then giving it my all again. But I don't see myself like doing it as a gaming thing to like get a better output and to go up on the leaderboard. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I definitely think there needs to be a pause button, but I don't know how it's going to work with keeping the leaderboard as authentic as they can keep it, even though people are gaming it and messing it up anyway. But I would love to know your guys' thoughts on it. I know people have a lot of strong opinions about it. Some people don't want a pause button no matter what. Some people can't believe there hasn't been a pause button thus far, and it's going to be a really hot, controversial topic in the Peloton community. And if you're watching this video as a non-Peloton community person, you probably think we're all crazy, and I definitely see how crazy some of it is. I watched some of the Facebook groups and they are like really snarky and hardcore and pretentious AF, and they're just like not my kind of people, not my cup of tea. But I've also really enjoyed a lot of the Facebook groups and a lot of the community built around it. It's just such an uplifting and inspiring community on the whole, aside from like certain Facebook pages. And you'll know if you're going to Facebook Peloton groups, you'll see which ones I'm talking about and which ones are like more down to earth, more like everyday people and not like hardcore, really serious people. And I just feel like life's too short to be super serious about something like this. Like it's fun and games for me, and I really like that aspect of it. So I'm just trying to find the best version of myself, the best athlete inside me. As a couch potato, it's going to be easy for me to improve relatively quickly because I was so out of shape. I'm still pretty out of shape, but I just really enjoy it, and I want to talk about it on this channel. Thank you for indulging me in this video. If you made it this far listening to my ramblings, thank you. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I will also leave my leaderboard name. I don't cycle yet. I will later on in the month, but I'll leave my leaderboard name so you guys can follow me. If you want to, I'll follow you back. At this point, I don't have very many people I follow, so I'm looking for Pelo friends on there. So feel free to follow. If you're new to Peloton, you don't have a Peloton yet, I'll leave my code in the description box, so it'll entitle you to $100 off accessories if you buy a bike or a tread, so you can use that code if you want. Nobody's used it yet. I think 12 people can use the code and then it doesn't work. So if you want $100 off, you can use my code. So if you are a Peloton person, I would love to know what you would like to discuss next. There's lots of Peloton topics to talk about. So real quick, I will throw this up on the screen for you guys. I'm actually going to screen record right now as I'm flipping through this. So I'm going to show you guys my workout activity here. I have been working out every single day. I haven't done anything today, but it's nap time, so I'm about to do that after this video. I've been doing daily since basically almost the very beginning. So I got my 60-day streak and I've still been daily since then. So I'm on a 15-week streak, which means you just have to work out one time in the week to get that streak. So I'm still on the 15-week. I'm at 377 workouts, but 171 of them are meditation. And if you know anything about Peloton, you get a century shirt. It's your 100 of any kind of category. So I got my century shirt for meditation. Womp womp, super lame, but I'm saving it until I get 100 of something good, like 100 cycling. So I'll start wearing the shirt and flaunting it at that point, because I feel like I joined the club. Right now I feel like I cheated to join the club by using meditation. But I use a daily meditation, and then I also do a sleep meditation most nights. So that one adds up really quickly if I'm doing 2 of those a day. And then I've got 67 yoga, 51 strength, which I ended up just getting that 50 strength class badge, 39 stretching, 32 walking, 9 running, which I need to do 1 more running so I can have a 10, and then I can get the little 10 badge. But that's it. I've retired from actual running. And then cardio, I've done 8. So yeah, no cycling, no tread, no bike boot camps. Yeah, I just hit the 4,000 minutes of exercise in the app, and I also do yoga and a couple of other things here and there in the Apple Fitness Plus app. And so 4,000 workout minutes is not all of my minutes, and I joined the Peloton app, I think mid-January. So it didn't count the first couple of weeks of working out this year. So I'm at 4,000 minutes, which is really cool. And I've been trying to get all the little badge thingamabobbers. So I've been trying to grab them and get all the little tiny badges, and it's been fun. So I just wanted to show you my progress. I don't have any like noteworthy, interesting classes, except I started doing the Pilates classes. I went into yoga thinking, oh, it's kind of boring, it's kind of easy. It's not, it's hard, the poses are hard. And afterwards, I definitely feel different in my muscles, and I've been getting better at it, but there's a lot of planks and a lot of strength involving poses in yoga, which I did not know, like going in being a new person. So I really enjoyed that. I felt myself getting stronger with that. And then I tried Pilates. They have 40 Pilates classes in their little Pilates series. And I have done, I don't know, like 5 or 6 of them at this point, and they are hard AF. I did not realize Pilates was going to be so hard, and I do not understand the 360 breath. I'm like trying to like breathe into my ribs and things, breathe into my stomach, and it's hard work for me. I just can't do it. I look kind of silly doing it. And then I did one yesterday with Sami, and it was really hard. It's like lifting up legs. And I also did one with Anna Greenberg the other day where you're lifting up your leg and doing little leg circles with one leg at a time. And I was dying by the end of it. It was so hard. So definitely, if you want a challenge, try out the Pilates classes. I did not think that they would be as intense as they are, but they are really hard. And you're only doing like so many leg lifts in a row, but they are really hard work. Like it's a really intense strength exercise. So I definitely highly recommend checking out the Pilates. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.